The wonderful Anni Pohto is back with a bang, releasing her new single, AMOR MUNDI, which I've looked up actually, and it means love of the world, which will be followed by Anni's album. Anni will be supporting Scouting for Girls on the forthcoming tour and is joining us now. How are you doing, Anni?
I'm good. How about you?
Absolutely fantastic. It's a privilege to have you on the show because I've been trying to track you down in order to get you on the show, but you've been very, very busy.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate it. It's lovely to be here. So thanks for the opportunity.
And I loved your single, Every Woman, as well.
Thank you.
Very catchy.
Thank you.
Very catchy. Absolutely loved it. Now, could you tell us, for listeners who don't know about the wonderful Anni Pohto, when did you start writing and performing music?
Well, so I play piano, I sing, and I make beats. And we had a piano back at home in Finland. And I basically don't remember the time when I was not at least trying to play it. And as soon as I went to school, my mom and dad put me on actual piano lessons, and I think quite soon after that I started both composing my own songs and also writing, as soon as I learned how to write and read, I started writing my own little stories and poems and whatnot. So basically, music and writing, like writing words and stories and writing music, has in a way always been part of me and my life. And obviously, I was the annoying teenager, always in whatever little school event, trying to, play something or perform something. And then slowly it kind of got more and more serious, and I just never stopped.
Well, I've heard that when you were a child, you were like, it helped you as a therapy and also rebellion when you were growing up in Finland in the 90s.
Yeah, I think many, everybody's creative, and I think someone, I think we all are creative in different ways, but through creativity, we definitely can express. I felt like I got answers to questions I didn't know how to ask through writing and playing, and at the same time making music definitely is also a form of rebellion, and yes,
because I hear that from the age of 6 you are kind of it was like a therapy kind of thing for you, the music.
Yeah, obviously I don't like nothing like too dramatic about it, but I think like I've always been kind of really sensitive and kind of really paying attention to everything. I remember, obviously, Finland, we have the eastern neighbor, with 800 miles of land border. And obviously I was too little to really understand what was going on with, the collapse of Soviet Union.
Yes.
But obviously I didn't know what was going on. But in hindsight, obviously there were these kind of certain vibe.
Yes.
In the and you can
feel it when you're as a child.
Yes.
You can feel that there's something that is just not right.
Yes. And then obviously, for example, I remember the Yugoslavian war and there was like all these happenstances and yes, I was always really tuned into what's going on in the world, and that's I've always been interested in what's going on in the world, and at the same time being a sensitive kid.
Yes.
Maybe that just as a combination was something that you think a lot of things. You just like, yes, kids, yes. I think
I find music helps in a lot of situations, really. It can help you quite a lot. I've listened to all sorts of kinds of music, depending on the mood I'm in, and it really does, like, it like gives you a nice feeling,
Yes.
Because I'm a feeling person as well. You see, I'm like very sensitive.
Yes.
It's like my mum, she's called Hillary, and she always says she should be called a Francis because apparently all the Francises are a little bit like.
No, but to be honest, I think every human being is a sensitive human being, but that is just something, especially I think with men, that is just kind of denied or kind of neglected. And sometimes I think I don't have a pet, but I've been thinking like, if I would own a dog and I would force the dog to sit down for 10 hours, I would inject sugar and coffee and alcohol and tobacco, and I would blink lights in its eyes and not let it out. And then when we would go out and the dog would bite someone, and then I would like, why is it acting like that? Because it would be like actually like torture, and I would be probably like banned from, I would not be allowed to have animals, but yet we do that to ourselves in many ways. So I really do think like we are numbing ourselves and emotions, and we all are sensitive because we are animals the same way.
That's right, yes. Because I find it's the same. Like I find it, people are being a little bit desensitized in the society that we're in at the minute, a little bit. But music is something that everybody can. It doesn't matter who you are. It's something that can touch the soul.
Yes, and that's why also I think it's really important to just sometimes people are a little bit shamed of what they like, or really like you should only listen to these genres or whatever. I think, like you said, music can express any and every emotion and all the subtleties in between, and we should just like really celebrate that. And that's why, for example, I'm so excited to get to play live, because obviously I think that's the most powerful situation where an artist and an audience member can be, when you're actually physically there together, because obviously the artist is the one who is performing, but the artist can only do so much without the audience. And so that's why it's also really excited to go on this tour now and get to meet all these amazing people around the UK.
It's going to be absolutely fantastic as well, and really looking forward to maybe meeting up with you sometime at one of the venues which is close to me, but we will talk about that a little bit later on, because talking about the music, you searched for solace and empowerment as you got older in classical and jazz music, and had an interest in feminist icons from Princess Leia to girl power like the Spice Girls. Did you find solace and empowerment with the Spice Girls, or was it just solace, or was there just the empowerment?
I don't know, but for example, it was I just recently watched the Beckham documentary, and I really was tuning in with Victoria, and I'm just like, I hope that David will support Victoria's fashion career in the same way that Victoria has been supporting David's career as a football player. Because I know, but yeah, so definitely, I have brothers, and I grew up with the original Star Wars, and only later on I realized that Princess Leia has been like the feminist or the icon, the female icon for me always. And it was somehow quite subconscious, but and obviously when Spice Girls came, that was a massive thing, and the whole girl power thing, and girls just, and they can be the posh or the sporty or the baby, and you can kind of express yourself in all different ways, and everything is like equally good or acceptable, and that was great, and also actually some time ago I went back to listen to the Spice album and the Spice World, and the songs were actually like really, really good. Not just the singles, but like there's so many like album tracks.
The bass,
like the bass lines. Oh my god! Obviously there was something quite like, it was a massive phenomenon, and not like for a reason.
I think it came at the right time as well, because it was a perfect time, because we had all of the Britpop stuff happening and things. And it was nice to have something that was different to having your Pulp, Oasis, and all that, you know. So, I mean, I must admit, I'm honest, because I love the Spice Girls and I bought every single CD single because I love them. And the bonus tracks that you got on the CD singles, that the tracks weren't even released. They're absolutely fantastic.
Yes. Actually, so I got to travel to London a few times around, because my mom and dad were traveling for work a little bit, and then they were coming like once a year for a few years to London, and then I was able to kind of go with them, you know, around when the Spice Girls was big. Yes. And so I remember just like the freedom of you know, going to one of these Virgin mega stores or whatnot.
Oh,
you know, like, and then we're like, no, I'm not gonna go anywhere from here. You know, let's meet in 30 minutes or 1 hour at the front door. Yeah. And I was obviously, because in Finland, the single market was not like, we didn't really have that, because there's only 5 million people in Finland, or now 5.5.
Yeah.
But I mean, so the singles market wasn't really existing, and, you know, so it was like a heaven for me then I was kind of, you know, like shipping or like buying like loads of these Spice Girls singles and, you know, taking those back home. And
Did you ever go to Tower Records? I think that was Piccadilly Circus, Tower Records. That was a massive store. Yeah. And I think it was even bigger than the Virgin Mega Store on Oxford Street. Absolutely fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I really can't remember, because obviously I was kind of just going, you know, with my mom and dad. I was maybe like 12, 13 or something like that. Yeah. But just like, anyway, that was like, you know, a place to babysit me, basically. Just like drop me off there. And
that's right. And I'll browse all the music and everything. Oh, it's just magic. I just love record shops. It's a shame there isn't a lot of them around now, you know. I could just imagine walking down the street, and if there was a Virgin Mega Store, something like that, it would just be magical, you know?
Yeah.
But it'll all come back.
Yes, but at the same time, I mean, obviously we could have a long discussion of another hour for where the music business is heading.
Of course.
But I think, you know, at the same time, for example, these Spotify's and streaming services are in many ways, obviously everything has its problems, of course. But at the same time, you know, there's a lot of great stuff, or great sides to the streaming industry as well.
Of course there is. There is. But yes, I do love the vinyl there. Are you releasing any of your music on vinyl, Annie?
So I'm running my own company right now. So I'm like, you are in charge of your stuff. I'm in charge of my stuff. Right. So right now, we're not gonna do so far a physical version of the album, but let's see, I've been thinking, like, maybe if we set some kind of like a fun little goal, like, you know, if we reach certain streaming number or something, you know, and then because as an indie artist, I don't wanna put myself again in a position where there's like these massive boxes of stuff that
of course, yes, you don't know. You want to just test the water first, see what happens, you know, just take every day as it comes, as it were.
Yeah, exactly, but that would be amazing. And obviously the vinyl is such a beautiful, you know,
it's way a beautiful format. Format, but it is expensive to make, especially the process that it goes through and everything. You know, you've got to master it, and you've got to have the mother thing and whatever. You know, it's quite complicated. But we'll look forward to that coming soon from Anni Pohto on vinyl. You just never know. Maybe in 2024.
Watch
this space. Now, through your 20s, you worked your way up in the domestic and international music industry, and you got your first major record deal while still a student at the local music college, and continued to write with some of the biggest artists in Finland. What was it like being signed to your first label after all these years writing and performing?
I mean, obviously it was a dream come true, but then the dream turned into a lesson.
Yes.
So obviously, in hindsight, it was I think it was an important moment in my life. Obviously, in hindsight, it was quite tough because things didn't work out the way I would have liked them to, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I was expecting, and there was not this massive success, and for many reasons. That also not everything was on me, but as a young woman, I was kind of assuming that it was all just my fault, basically. At the same time, I have to say I'm grateful for the people who gave me that opportunity.
Yes.
Even though maybe there were some disagreements eventually and so on, but still they gave me an opportunity, and I have definitely grown from that. So then after working or having this major record deal, I kept on writing and producing some other Finnish artists, but I, after a long while, I realized that somehow I had to kind of, how would you put it? I couldn't be the full version of myself in that environment.
No.
And it's not that it's nobody's fault, but you just, as an artist, I felt like I had to numb myself or make myself smaller or just cut something out of me in order to be able to actually work in that setting. And it started to be quite painful when you have to kind of deny parts of yourself.
Of course.
And obviously, and the Finnish music industry is quite like turned inwards at the moment. So there's not that many, or we don't have. So it's quite like focused on the domestic market. Let's put it this way. So then I learned quite quickly that I had to reach out to people around the world to actually, if I want to make it internationally. And like I said earlier, I've always been really interested in what's going on in the world. I'm quite like, I want to travel. I want to learn different languages. I want to learn different cultures. I want to live abroad. So it also made sense for me that whatever, kind of like, even if I wouldn't do music, whatever I would do, I think I would want to do it internationally, because I'm just like, I just want to learn and see and experience.
That's right. And of course, share all of your talent that you have there.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And it's also interesting. And also another thing that I'm really looking forward on the tour, that because audiences are really different in different places, because we people are different. And for example, what is kind of acceptable and how you behave, and everything is there, like these small subtleties that are different. So it's going to be quite exciting to, for the first time, really get to perform for British audiences.
Of course. I mean, you're visiting Newcastle upon Tyne, and when you visit there, you'll definitely get a welcome, because we just love the music in the northeast of England.
That's amazing.
Honestly.
And I heard that because I have not really been traveling around the UK at all. I've been to a couple of places outside of London, but so it's also, as from a tourist perspective, it's quite exciting to just get to see all the different cities and the landscapes and whatnot. But I heard that in Newcastle there's some legendary football arena in the middle of the town.
That's right. So? Yes, we have. Yes, we've got St. James's Park.
Yes.
Newcastle United, the tsunami. But yes, you'll definitely get. I'll tell you what it is. With all the people in the northeast if somebody came on the stage and just played a penny whistle, even if they were terrible, we would still give them an applause, but would never be silent. But I know that it's going to be amazing when you come up to Newcastle. So hopefully I'll be able to come along and see you when you come up.
That would be lovely. And I have to say, because the Finnish audience, I have to share, is that I've been thinking about this, like when, artists or musicians from other countries come to Finland.
Yes.
And they must be like, oh my God, because for some reason it's so cute, actually adorable. But people just sit there in silence and they stare at you, and then they are absolutely enjoying it.
Right. So unusual, isn't it?
And
That's hilarious.
Yes. Also, but it's and obviously because that's how kind of like what I've obviously they clap and in between the songs, but
yes.
but kind of like when the music is going on, obviously if they're drunk then maybe that's a different
might
story.
be a bit of disruption there, yes.
Yeah, but basically it's just like people just stand or sit there and stare at you. And
it must go back to the classical music times. When there was a lot of classical music going on, and you would have to, if once the orchestra finished, you would wait for the first person to clap, and then you could join in.
Yeah, well, I mean, Finns are, a bunch of hillbillies, so I don't think most of us have been to classical concerts, but it's just, but it's adorable feature, but definitely from an artist perspective, an interesting one.
And you've got the famous Lordi as well, haven't you?
Sorry?
Yeah, I bet you knew I was going to mention Lordi.
Yes.
Rock Hallelujah.
Yes. That's quite something. That's quite
definitely is.
But we have quite a lot of those, like all kinds of heavy metal bands, and that's, as someone might guess, that's not really my cup of tea.
No.
The heavy metal scene, but there's loads of those bands still, and apparently a lot of those are really, for example, big in South America, for example.
Yes.
But yeah, that's like that's actually once I was traveling and these two guys, they were massive like metalheads, and they were so excited to meet for the first time someone from Helsinki, and I was such a disappointment because I could see the disappointment kind of like melting on their faces from like the excitement melting into this disappointment, because I didn't know any of the bands. I was like, no, I like jazz and hip hop and that kind of stuff, and they're like, what a disappointment to meet this Finn who doesn't even recognize. Yes, so unfortunately, I'm really bad at that.
Yes, you left the face paints in the boot of the car there.
Yeah.
Yeah, your Lordi disguise.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, the Eurovision Song Contest, you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah. But we it's something for everyone. So
it's just fun, isn't it? It's all fun, yeah. Now, since the release of Deep, the first song on your concept album, The Rising, representing the 17 stages of emotional vibrations, your career has started to ascend. During the process, you've worked with award-winning filmmakers. Your Every Woman music video went viral on YouTube, and the song can be heard as the title song of a TV series by the Finnish broadcasting company YLE. Every single has been placed on the official Spotify Finland playlist, and your music has been consistently played on several key national radio stations such as YLEX, Radio Helsinki and Radio Suomi. And now you have a new single and album. Please, could you tell us about the single AMOR MUNDI?
Yes. So this is the last single that I'm releasing before the album The Rising is coming out, and this song is, so like you said so beautifully in the beginning, AMOR MUNDI is an idea that to love the world despite everything that's going on, or that we shouldn't like uncritically or like this happy-go-lucky way just accept everything or be ignorant, but kind of at the same time understand that there are all these shades of gray and very much of deep darkness as well. Yes. But at the same time, we should nevertheless try to love the world and seek to see this everything through grace and love, and that's a concept that I am really drawn to. and the song AMOR MUNDI, it's there's a sample of Frédéric Chopin's revolutionary Etude, and that's a tune that I was drawn to a long time ago, and I realized long time ago I want to sample it and put it like a beat under it.
Yes.
But at the same time, I felt like I'm not there as an artist, and I need to kind of. I just didn't want to touch it. I felt like I'm not allowed to touch something like that yet. But now I did, and I kind of studied the song enough to be able to kind of play it somewhat. I'm not a classical pianist whatsoever, but so it's me playing the sample there. And then I made the beat underneath, and there is this chaotic, anxious vibe to the song, and a lot of like sonic references, all kinds of little Easter eggs, like sonic Easter eggs, like little samples and whatnot there as well. And then I kept writing the lyrics for a really long time, and they were all kinds of like chaotic, like what am I afraid of? What is creating this inner and outer chaos? And slowly that boiled down to the themes that I'm talking about in the song, and for me the song kind of comes with a question mark. That kind of like this is where I'm at with my process.
Yes.
About, for example, being the second most privileged person in the world.
Yeah.
And what does it mean? And obviously I didn't kind of choose, like I was born where I was born, to the family that I was born, so yes. But at the same time, so there's all this really difficult, uncomfortable emotions going on, and how do I deal with it? What do I do with it? How can I be a positive force instead of a negative force?
Yes.
All these really difficult, complicated questions, and I don't think we have answers, but that's the whole point. That I'm just, so I'm just like, hey, dudes, this is where I'm at. What do you think? Let's talk. And that's what the song is about, and I hope it serves my listeners in a way that maybe they are able to maybe if they read the lyrics and kind of tap into the emotional side of that they are able to maybe get some words describing what they are going through.
Of course, yes. I mean, I love the tune. It's absolutely wonderful. It's completely different to Every Woman. It's completely different to that, but that's good because it's nice to have variety. I mean, talking about variety, we're going to have a bit of variety on your new album.
Yes. So one thing that I decided when I started working on it was that at least maybe this is just my opinion, but I've had this feeling, like, especially as a female artist, that you kind of, there is this kind of advice, or people tell you, like, you need to choose, are you this or are you that? Like, you need to kind of label yourself, or you need to put yourself in a box and then stay in that box, because then people can kind of understand what your brand is. and personally, I thought, like, well, as a human being and as a woman, I am not either or, I'm both. Yes. For example, that I can be sensitive, fragile, soft. At the same time, I can be super assertive, powerful, angry, frustrated, or and I can be, and this kind of, like, it's kind of yin and yang, both and not either or, and so that was kind of my approach to the whole album, and that's how I realized that there are songs about healing, there are songs about, I really believe that we need to kind of deal with our own darkness, and that goes back to our sensitivity and not numbing ourselves down. And when we actually deal with our demons and our inner darkness and whatnot, and make that kind of like a modern hero's journey, and only then we can actually be joyful and empowered and kind of witness. I mean, it's quite an amazing thing to be alive. And for example, like just like us chatting like this,
yes,
through these strange machines.
Yes.
If you start thinking about it, what an amazing, like, as a species, the fact that we are able to collaborate in a way.
Yes.
That somebody made all of this happen.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. There's a chain of events that have made this our meeting happen.
Yeah. It's
Annie,
like somebody,
which is lovely.
like somebody figure out there's things called electricity, you know, and then. Yeah,
and then your camera, and then your microphone, and then it's
and
it's all happening.
Yes. So kind of like, and it's silly, but then it's not. So that's I realized that at the same time, I'm absolutely miserable, terrible person at times, but also the fact that I understand that I can be a really like a nasty person, and I've faced my darkness. Yes. And keep on doing that. But then again, that also kind of like brings this humility and grace towards other people. And then that enables me to be silly and recognize like, oh my God, how amazing thing is electricity.
That's right. That's right. Now, that song, Every Woman That You Did, it's generally saying that, you know, you can be you're everything. You can be everything. I mean, I loved what you said earlier, just before there, when you were saying, like, I'll give you a description. There's a comedian that was around here in the UK called Ken Dodd, and he did a thing called, he studied laughter. You know, where does it come from? And humor and things like that. And he said there was like a rainbow of laughter. There can be like the nastiness of satire, you know, which can be cutting, but then there can be like the lovely, you know, sunshiny, lovely, you know, giggly kind of stuff. And it's like with music, I think there's different colours of that. You could say there's dark music, there's light music. I mean, and there's always that little bits in between there, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Beautiful.
That's really beautiful.
I just thought I'd share that with you, because when you were talking there, I was thinking, you know, that's like kind of what it's all about. You know, it's all to do with different kinds of music for like on your album there, music for different moods that you're in and things like that. Something to go to for every mood.
Yeah, exactly. And at the same time, like from like totally different perspective, that sometimes a song can really like evoke something.
Yes.
And wake up something in you. And yeah, but it's amazing, and I love that laughter, kind of the rainbow of laughter. It's great. And
we're all amazing. We know that, aren't we, Annie? Yes, definitely. Yeah. Now, on another note, have you ever bought a vinyl record, and if so, what is your favorite single or album?
Yes, I used to have some vinyls and a vinyl player, but then I gave them away because I that's
you went digital
story.
Did you?
No. I just realized that, you know, it wasn't meant moving here, but I was moving, and I realized that I had like maybe a handful of vinyls and a player, and then I realized like now it's like, you know, somebody else can use
the entertainment get the entertainment out of them.
Somebody else, you know, will be happier using this than me at that point. But my favorite single on vinyl is 93 Till Infinity by, oh my God, what's the band? Total Blackout. The rap band, 93 Till Infinity.
Oh. I've got my Guinness Book of Hit singles here. I probably won't find it.
Yeah.
But actually, what is it? I haven't got it in alphabetical order. I've got me book here, but yes, it's
it's Souls of Mischief, of course.
Souls of Mischief, right? We'll have to look them up. So if you had the turntable there, that's what you'd be playing, eh?
Yes.
And why not?
That's one of the. I love 90s hip hop, and that particular song is just. It gets me every time.
Lush. I love all of the R&B stuff, you see. I'm a bit of a softie, like Boys to Men and, you know, maybe a little bit of Mariah, but, you know, not too much. Oh. Oh. Will you be doing any of that, Annie, in the future? Oh.
Maybe we'll see. But I have to say, regarding the vinyls, on my album, once the album is out, we sampled one kind of art music vinyl from this Finnish legendary composer, not Sibelius, but more contemporary.
Right.
Also now passed away, but and we got it cleared, and so we sampled one Finnish art album instrumental and made this, you know, paid a little homage to the 90s hip hop, and I'm really excited to share that song eventually as well. But you know, there's some proper vinyl sampling going on my album as well. So
fabulous. We'll really look forward to that. I mean, I haven't heard the album yet. I haven't been given a preview or anything.
No,
so I'll have to. It's everything's under wraps. Even the brand new single, all I can do is play it. I'm not allowed to download it. But I'm sure. But it does sound absolutely fantastic. So watch out for AMOR, MUNDI, and of course the brand new album as well. Now, Annie, whereabouts can listeners get a copy of your album and your latest single?
Yeah, so obviously the album is it's only coming out later, but I mean it's on all the streaming services, and you know, and obviously, so that's where you can find me, and also on all the social medias as well. And
do you have a website at all?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. Well, maybe coming soon, but get yourself over to wherever you get your downloads and wherever you stream your music. It'll be all available there. Annie, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Finally, could you please introduce your latest single, AMOR MUNDI?
Yes. Hello, I'm Anni Pohto, and this is my newest song, AMOR MUNDI. I really hope you like it.
Thank you so much, Annie, for joining us, and good luck with the new single and album, and I'll look forward to having you on the show again in the future.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Take care now. Thank you.
Thank you.